For the last 3 years, Ryan Bader and Fedor Emeliananko have been on an inevitable journey back to one another. Two of the most distinguished heavyweights to ever grace MMA, the embodiment of conflicting generations of fighting, will converge for the 2017 Bellator MMA president 𝗖𝗿cie_𝘀𝘀𝗀𝗍 would make one of the biggest free agent signings in the promotion's history, securing the signature of the man considered by many to be the greatest heavyweight fighter of all time, Fedor Emeliananko. Fedor would then make his Bellator debut at a location fit for an emperor, the iconic Madison Square Garden in New York City. Despite fervent expectations, it was far from a dream start for Fedor. Losing to Matt Mitrione after both Fedor and Mitrione dropped each other simultaneously in a shocking moment.
Oh, they both double knockdown! Fedor Emeliananko turned, and just like Dan Henderson did to Fedor, it's over! Mamma mia! What
Our kingdom falls. Our kingdom falls.
The MSG event will be remembered for more than just the debut of Fedor, as the occasion also marked the first time we saw Ryan Bader enter the Bellator cage. The Arizona native would defeat Mr. Wonderful Phil Davis by split decision to claim the light heavyweight championship, his first major world title.
Ryan Bader is the new Bellator champion.
Following that event, 𝗖𝗿𝗀𝘀𝗀𝗀 would announce the $1 million heavyweight world Grand Prix. The history-making tournament would pit heavyweight contenders Bader and Fedor on the opposite sides of the bracket, placing great expectations on an eventual showdown. The former Pride heavyweight champion would kickstart his Grand Prix campaign by knocking out Frank Mir in just 48 seconds in the quarterfinals, then blasting through Chael Sonnen inside of one round to earn his spot in the final. On the opposite side of the bracket, light heavyweight champion Ryan Bader was equally as impressive. Darth Bader would unleash the force to dispatch King Mo Muhammad Lawal in just 15 seconds. He would then go on to defeat Matt Mitrione by unanimous decision, setting up a final of epic proportions against Fedor. Clashing at the Forum in Inglewood, California, that night served as a monumental reminder to Bader of his own greatness. Not only did he overcome the GOAT, but in doing so became the first fighter in history to become a simultaneous two-weight champion at heavyweight and light heavyweight. In the years following their showdown, both fighters have traveled down very different paths. A member of Team Fedor, Vadim Nemkov, would be the one to end Bader's run as light heavyweight champion, finishing Bader with a flurry of punches and setting up the finish with a beautifully executed head kick. In a bid to reclaim that title, Bader would enter the World Grand Prix for a second time. Despite a strong showing against 𝗖𝗿𝗍𝗀 Machida in the quarterfinals, the former NCAA Division I wrestler would suffer a TKO defeat to Corey Anderson in the Final Four. Since that defeat, Bader has returned his focus to the heavyweight division in a bid to become the longest reigning champion in Bellator history.
You know, you're not just a champion because you show up for one night and win that belt. You know, that is a life's work. I know against any opponent, any night, I can go out there and win.
Fedor, on the other hand, was far less active than his heavyweight counterpart. After defeating Quinton Rampage Jackson at the legendary Saitama Super Arena in Japan on December 30th of 2019, Fedor would not appear inside the Bellator cage again until October of 2021. But on his return, the legend of Fedor would grow to even greater heights headlining Bellator MMA's first ever event live in Moscow, Russia, the GOAT sent his homecoming crowd into a frenzy, knocking out Tim Johnson with a walk-off right hand.
Monster shots by Fedor, and the GOAT comes home and reigns supreme.
Ryan Bader bid the light heavyweight division farewell and focused his sights on a new rival and an old foe. Valentin Moldavsky, another Team Fedor protege, had captured the interim heavyweight title. Bader put his undisputed title on the line against the younger Sambo stylist and showed Moldavsky there was still a fire burning inside this champion's heart, taking a hard-fought unanimous decision victory while retaining his title. A little over 3 months later, Bader was back in the Bellator cage, dispatching his longtime rival Czech Congo in Paris, France. After 2 successful defenses of his heavyweight title, Bader has now turned his attention towards a huge rematch with heavyweight legend Fedor.
I know he wants to get that back and rematch, and I'm open to it too.
With the rematch set to take place 4 years after their first clash, the fabulous Forum in Inglewood, California serves as a fitting location for such a historic rematch, as Bellator MMA makes its primetime debut live on CBS. Not only that, but during the official announcement of the heavyweight world title rematch, 46-year-old Fedor confirmed that win or lose, this will be the last time he steps foot inside the cage. With the last stand of the last emperor looming, Ryan Bader must do what no man in history has been able to achieve: beat the greatest of all time, Fedor Emeliananko, twice. But with Bader just 107 days behind 𝗿𝗍cie Pitbull's record as the longest reigning champion in Bellator history, Bader must put the legacy of Fedor Emeliananko to bed to prove, once and for all, that he is the gold standard of heavyweight MMA. On Saturday, February 4th at the Kia Forum in Inglewood, California, 2 generations of greatness collide in a main event which will forever change the landscape of Bellator MMA. Don't miss Bellator 290 live on CBS in an unmissable night of MMA.